What's up, everybody? I'm back. Just give me 1 second again. I had somehow lost connection. Um, Hold on 1 second. I had lost connection, but I'm back. Like I said, if y'all tuning in, I just did one live previously. I do suggest you go back, and it was a part one before I got disconnected. We was talking about um how much does a mother affect her son manhood, and I think that to me um, this is a mentally there for you topic. I am being honest because again, if you haven't already know, I got a podcast. It's called Mentally There for You podcast, which speaks about mental health and physical health. Mental, basically connecting the physical with the spiritual side of yourself. But before I go deep into it, I'm gonna replay the video that this is all based off again because if you did not catch the first segment, the first half of this, I played a video and this is it right here. So basically, in the video, it's saying that mothers destroy sons, and she goes in on a mom stating about her reasoning was off of how she put her expectations on her son, of what a man is. So before my live disconnected, it was she was saying I was basically reiterating what she was saying, like how could you match your son up or your husband, your basically his father, and you match him up to what a man is if you don't know what a man is, and that's pretty much it. Because like I said, every woman have their expectation or their image of what a man is supposed to be. The mom said, oh, it's what I see. Okay, so when she said that, it raised like a red flag because she want to raise her son in the image that she sees fit for him. And that's why I said, do a woman really affect her son's manhood? And I'm gonna say yeah, but I do want everybody else's point of view. But I want you to listen to the video again because again, like I said, it is based off this topic. And then I have another video I want to play because I played it during my Mentally There for You podcast, and it basically run off of the same thing that this lady is saying to this mother, and you find out in a different way how it affected another guy, which we all know who he is. Rest in peace to Mr. DMX. I want to play that segment too, but I think everybody laughed about it, and it really not is really not funny because a lot of grown men don't know how much of their adulthood is fucked up because of their childhood and how their environments that they was brought up in. And that's why I say as a woman, we got to be mindful of how we bringing our sons up. Yes, I love my daughters, but you also are raising somebody else's husband, somebody else's father, somebody else's citizen that's going to be in the community. And I'm not saying no kid ain't perfect and no parents is perfect. We all going to make mistakes, but there is some things that is red flaggable, I'm going to say, that we need to look at. But here's the video again, and then I'll go back in and start talking about the other things that was kind of red flaggish. Mothers destroy sons. Now that I got your attention, let's take it to the comments and discuss. When the boys turn a certain age, the men come and get him and take him away from the mother because she can emotionally manipulate him. But since we don't live in our culture no more, we say what we want to say, do what we want to say. We tear our men down and then wonder why they don't make good husbands and fathers. Mothers destroy sons. His mother can speak to him in certain ways that destroy him in ways that can never be repaired. But wait, there's more. Keep listening. So I'm asking you, since this is not a demonstration of a man, you need to tell me what man you're using to measure him with. Which one? My idea. Which is your idea. Mm-hmm. Now, is that the idea you trained him up to be? No. Oh, so how in the blazing bejesus are you holding him accountable to a standard that you didn't teach him, his father didn't give him, he don't even know what it is, and yet as his mother, you sit in his face and tell him you don't respect him as a man. Tell me how. Let's take it to the comments. Right here, let's see what y'all think. Mothers All right, so that's the video. Like I said earlier, I do understand as a mom, I do have an image that I do see my son as, but can I force that on him? Am I gonna be destroying his path, his destiny, the things that he might want to do in life, by the words that I'm speaking to him and telling him that I want him to be a certain way? So listen, any kid, even when we was kids, we all wanted to applaud or please our parents because that's what we're taught. But they never teach us how to please ourselves internally as we growing up as adults from adolescence all the way through. So what this lady is basically saying that the mom is a mom can destroy her son with the way that she speaks to him and what she want her expectations of him as a man. So when we think about it, everybody can say, "Oh, she need to mind her business," blah blah blah. No, but she's telling the truth because when do women, us mothers, and I'm not just talking about the mothers in this generation, but this go as far back as the beginning of time from many mothers that wasn't ever taught to be moms that tried to be a mother and they failed at it. Everybody is not going to be the perfect parent, and I'm not expecting that, but like she said, we can destroy our son's manhood by the way we talk to them, how we mold them to be men, and our expectations of them being men. So this is one part of my segment. Like I said, she did make some factors, and she asked her. She said, "What are you holding your son up to as a man? Like, what is your thoughts of him being a man?" So she says that her own thoughts, her own feelings. Okay, so did you show him as a woman that what you expect from other men, or did you as a woman show him what you as a woman should be so he will go out here and date that type of woman, like that, being that energy of knowing what a healthy woman looks like, a healed woman? Or were you the mother that actually brought him into environments but you wanted him to be the opposite of what you brought him into? So it's a lot of questions around that, and a lot of women will get offended and be like, "Oh, people need to mind their business and worry about their own kids." Yeah, I get it. I would say the same thing. You know, that's me coming out of my ego. But when you really realistically are ready to take accountability for your parenting to your child, and you know you are the one, I always tell everybody it's environments. It's the environments that kids come from. It's the environments that we put them in. It's the things that we allow them to be involved in. I'm not a perfect parent. And God honest truth, I let my son do some things that I question now, like play certain games and stuff like that. But what am I allowing? Am I chastising him on certain things that I should be? You know, I do teach my kids to speak up, but I also have to teach my kids how to tone the way they transition their tones when they speaking to certain people. There's a lot of things that we can do. No parent is going to be perfect, but what we are saying is it affecting our men today? Think back, if you're a man and you watching this, how much did your mom, good or bad? A mom could affect a son in a good way, and a mom could affect the son in a bad way. This is why I say it's good for two parents to be involved in the upbringing of the child. Like she said, back in our culture, I don't know too much about it, but I do feel like at a certain point, a woman can show a son how to be loved and how to be nurtured, and how a woman is supposed to attend as a feminine and he's a masculine, and a woman can teach him about his opposite of who he is. Like, I'm a woman, you're a man type thing. But at a certain point, it does need to be the father, because the mom can manipulate him because it's her image of what she sees fit for her son to be. Another person that I did find very interesting, and like I said, I did discuss this on my other podcast, Mentally There For You. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share that too. I'm gonna actually start posting my podcast information again, because I'm gonna be doing some topics like this up there. But another one that actually brought my attention 2 years ago when I started my podcast, this was actually the first segment we did. And I think it was reference to mothers and sons. And no, it was more so about people being damaged as a child and the influences of the world, and who, like, the people that they ran into, like mentors and stuff that was supposed to guide them in the right direction, but introduce them to drugs, or how to be out here getting the females and all this other stuff. All that stuff more than, and I think I did bring up something about Boosie. I did not like when he said that he brought his son to go get his, you know what, SI, you know, all that stuff. That's a whole nother topic. But the topic that we want today is about the mothers and their effects on their sons. So before I even get into the DMX part, I do want to basically say we do affect our sons. We affect our kids in general as women because we are the first sight. Like I said in the first video, make sure you go watch it. But say, prime example, my son got a father, right? If my son's father is lacking in certain areas and my son is hearing me to diminish his father, guess what he become afraid of? He's going to think that every woman is supposed to be in that type of energy, that low vibration, and basically keep bashing men. So he's going to eventually run into a woman that's going to bash him, diminish his manhood, and make him feel lesser than who he is, when genuinely, you raising your son to be an upfront man and he's not what, she says. It goes both parts, because if this son thinks that that is okay coming from women, that's the expectation he's going to get for a woman. And that's what he's going to keep attracting. So the energy resides, unless he's a smart man, as he gets older, he will learn his own way and break away from his belief system of what his expectations from a woman come from if his mother was damaging. It's not quite often that men do decide to do that. But I do think a mom to a son relates to, it starts the tone of how he relate with women, how he relate with females, how he learns to attract certain females into his energy. I have grew up with guys that I do know they was bougie like us women and said, not just old random girls ain't touching me. I don't want to be with just old random girls. They was about themselves. They had a lot of self-worth as we was children, because they wasn't like all the other boys was thinking about pussy and having sex and doing all that stuff. They was more so thinking about, I got to get my education. I got to get my car, I got to get my crib, da-da-da-da. Did we think about women? So I do condone those type of men that did have a struggling past, but they still knew how to relate to themselves. So now they can be successful men and fathers to their children. But let's go ahead and listen to this DMX one. And I don't like the fact that people laughed at him when he was saying this. I don't care about the drug history, because if you listen to the story behind the drug history, because I did refresh it, like I said, go watch it. I'm mentally there for you. It was our first episode, the first two segments. We covered DMX story. And I did my research at that time, and I found out that he was basically coerced into drugs as a child by a mentor. So let's stop judging people about their past and find out what really caused them to start doing these certain destructive things. And I am going to say the only reason why he started falling into that trap is that running into a mentor that didn't mean him no good. He was looking for love. He was looking for something to nurture. He didn't know how to identify it, so he took to what he seen as nurturing. This mentor was his boy, was his, right-hand man, but he got him faded like off crack, bro, off of a Wool J. Anybody that know what a Woolly J is, marijuana mixed with crack cocaine. But at the end of the day, we judging him off his tears of him expressing what started him off. And you can, if I could post a video, I will post it on my the like page. But he's shaking while he's telling them what is going on. And I don't believe he high. I believe it's his anxiety that's up to the sky roof and his PTSD. But I'm going to go ahead and play it. And I want you guys to listen, because this is another man stating how his mother affected his childhood. And I could keep pulling videos because it's a lot of them. Let's see.
Always turned to drugs when, I was feeling a certain way. And now that I'm not doing that, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when the pressure builds up, I'll call, Bino and be like, so I just wanted to say, mommy.
You never got to have that mommy experience.
No. And she never, not once. She ever told me that she loved me. I don't sound like a sucker.
You don't sound like a sucker.
It is what it is. I mean, a lot of people
don't get that. So, what's the big deal? So what? She didn't say she loved me. So what? I'm here. I'm healthy. You know what I mean? I got kids. I got a good career. Always.
So I'm gonna tell y'all the first disturbing part of this was the ending, when he actually was to get up, walk away, and say, "I ain't no sucker." That is some traumatic ass shit. And I'm gonna be real. I do feel like he needed to be loved. He needed to be taught. He needed to be cherished. I wish I could find an article that I did have in reference to this story, because he explained more in detail about his relationship with his mother. Hold on one second, because I am going to read some. But okay, this might be it right here. But even if it's not, I'm still gonna just go off of what y'all just heard. We as women, a lot of women, we seen that, and I heard a lot of females say, "Oh, he a bitch. He seen her crying like a big bitch." The same shit he said, y'all. "Oh, I'm not no son. I'm not no simp. I'm not gonna cry. Da 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 da. I'm not trying to go out like that." That's what he said, right? "I'm here. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I got a good career. Da 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 da." You can state all this stuff. He's stating materialistic things, but he still never said, "I am happy inside. I feel loved inside." I didn't hear him say that not one time. He's more worried about everybody else's opinion about him, or how he may look to the world for crying about something that was really traumatic to him as a child. And that was, he never got to be loved by his mother. His mother never loved him. And I swear, I'm about to read the article. Some of the article, it says, "Who is Arnett Simmons, DMX mother who abused him as a child, faces decision over life support, blah blah blah." All right. As rapper DMX shows no improvement, I don't want to even read that. I really want to get to their story. Hold on one second, y'all. All right. Even though he ended up forgiving his mom before his death, I do see that. But let me see. All right, maybe this might be it. All right, even if it's not, I am gonna go over some of this because it is related to what I did read. So DMX become. This is from an article out of BET. An article from BET. It says DMX becomes emotional when he talks about his estranged relationship with his mother during his final recorded interview scheduled to air May 16th on TV One. In the segment, the late rap icon discusses the surprise visit from his mother on a VH1 reality show, Couples Therapy in 2012. "It wasn't a hurt cry. It was like, yes, this is what I need." DMX reveals how therapy helped mend their relationship. Hold on, let's see. Because I really want to get to the part where it's talking about his childhood. First of all, his mom was a teen mom, so I can't even really go off of that, because maybe she didn't even have a home where she felt love. So it goes back. This is why I said, a woman, we really are supposed to be healed enough to raise children, because a lot of our mental health and emotional health, it can affect our boys and our girls too. So let's see, maybe this is it. Yep, I found it. DMX suffered a drug overdose on April the 2nd and is reportedly in a coma. Details are now resurfacing about the rapper's traumatic upbringing that may have led him to drug use. It says in November of 2020, DMX revealed he was tricked into recreational drugs by local rapper named Ready Ron when he was only 14 years old. That boy didn't even have a brain to think twice. And yes, we know now, our kids, I believe some of us are smart enough, and then some of us are not, because I hear teenagers now, young men, out here in the street in the hustle thinking that popping mollies and E-pills and all these other drugs is good in culture, but I'm about to explain something and where this is leading. So DMX basically at 14 years old was introduced to the drugs. He introduced me to what would be the best part of my life, which would be rap. But he also in notable. I think my life is blessed with a curse. And the curse aspect of it was I didn't smoke cigarettes. I didn't smoke weed. I didn't do anything. I mean, I'm 14 years old. He revealed Reddy Ron gave him a blunt was more than just marijuana. He passed the blunt around and I hit the blunt. I never felt like this before. It fucked me up. I later found out that he laced the blunt with crack. Why would you do that to a child? He was like 30 years old. He knew I looked up to him. Why would you do that to someone who looks up to you? In 2019, it said the rapper told GQ magazine about abuse from his mom when he was 6 years old. My mother beat 2 teeth out my fucking mouth with a broom. Now, I always tell people you could chastise your kids. I get it. That's how we was raised. And maybe some of these kids is very hard-headed. They need a little spanking or whatever. But I also feel like when what they say was used to control the slaves, beating them, abusing them, basically mentally, emotionally, and physically. So think about how we do our sons. What was done to our son to the male slaves back then? If they didn't listen, if they didn't do what the master told them to do, they was getting their ass whipped, right? So back to what I'm reading. DMX mother basically beat him with the broom and knocked his teeth out. It says, according to the New York Times, DMX manager Nakia Walker said he is currently, I don't want to hear that. He said his father was completely absent in his life and never even called for his birthdays. The rest of it. I'm really trying to find. Anyway, I wish I could go off of the whole article that I did read, but if y'all go, like I said, to my Mentally There For You page, y'all could actually find it on my Queensy Spiritual Insight on YouTube. Some of my Mentally There For You podcast links are up there as well, and I think the first 2 segments should be there. And I went into details about what DMX was saying. Like I said, I don't feel like it's fair that us as women and men in this community that we keep laughing at people that is trying to heal from traumatizing situations that they went through as kids. And I swear I will replay that one part again that he kept saying, man, I'm here, I'm healthy. No, you was not healthy. You was not mentally healthy. You wasn't spiritually healthy. You was broken. You was broken, and it started from you not being nurtured by the first person that you was involved with, and that's your mother. That's why I say yes, us mothers, we could destroy a life, we could destroy their manhood. Anybody follow DMX career, he had a lot of struggling with the streets. He always ran into drugs. He was always back and forth to jail. He had multiple women at some point. He didn't know how to be committed. All that affected. So even if some of these men have more abandonment issues from a woman, guess what they expected from every woman that they ever ran into? So it caused them a lot of, they didn't trust women to stay with women long enough. So when we actually think about it, and that's why I say I do want men to get involved with this conversation, because I do want to hear from a male's perspective. Also, I'm not just going to keep saying about the negative stuff that a mother can affect her someone, because sometimes you can really be a good mother. But could it be overly too good sometimes, because then we overlook the bad in our sons that we can't correct because we don't want to be the abusive mother to them, or we don't want to be the neglectful mother, or we do everything for our sons because we just don't want them to feel like they gotta we don't want them to feel estranged as men, and we want them to know that a woman's supposed to get to know. I think we overly do it too. I'm one of the mothers. So I'm not just speaking to y'all. I actually have to correct myself too. Can you overly mother a child and you can destroy their manhood too? Yes. There's no right or wrong answers to this. This is all a point of view. This is all observation. But we as women do have to take accountability for what we pour into our sons, because whether their fathers are there or not, if you are bashing their fathers, talking about their fathers, calling their fathers faggots or anything of that sort, guess what the fuck you're molding them to be? Especially if they look like they daddies. They are the image of the man that you are speaking about. And it affects our daughters too. That's a whole nother topic. I am going to do the power of the pussy. Y'all better stay tuned for that because that one's going to be lit. But that's what that segment of the power of the pussy, I'm going to be critiquing the women and letting them know how powerful we are. And it starts from our childhood all the way up. It starts from our birth, then it starts from our motherhood, teenagers, the things that we speak into existence. We are very powerful people. But as mothers to a son, we are the first ones that give them confidence to be the men that they need to be today. We needed that. And I do feel like we got a lot of damaged men because their mothers either overly overlooked their faults or underlooked these children, so they had to bring themselves up and learn what love is, or some of them will actually never learn. They have hateful women. They start destroying they self-sabotage their relationship, so they feel insecure about being with a woman. And I'm not trying to be funny. Sometimes that I do feel can affect a man for feeling like he's good enough to be with a woman, so he gets comfortable being around nothing but men. We as women set the tone. We set the vibration for our sons. We want our sons to be good, strong body men. We cannot put them expectations on them of what we feel a man is supposed to, because then you basically need to be dating your son. What I do feel like, we can guide them. We can let them know whatever they decide, we'll stick by them. We will be the mothers that will make sure that they are guided right, and then we correct their wrongs. Yes. But we cannot dictate our sons' path, because they one day have to be fathers. And one day they have to be fathers and husbands. And they have to be genuine men that has to go out here and raise the next community of young men. I do say it does take an effective thing for a mother to be healthy wholeheartedly. So you cannot allow your feelings towards them children's father, the men, to affect how we feel about our sons. So y'all, I really, really want y'all to go back, check out the episode, the segment of part 1 of this. And I mean what I say. Women, we do have to take accountabilities in some time. Do we actually affect our sons' manhood? Yes, I am going to say women do. Mothers do. The mother affects her son's manhood. It does. We tell them not to feel, we tell them unconditional love. A mother's supposed to have unconditional love for her son, but a lot of women have conditions for loving their son. We tell our sons not to touch us or hug us or none of that. Don't touch me. I don't got time to be kissing you on your forehead. We stop hugging our sons after a certain age. We stop kissing them on their foreheads. We are the ones that teach our sons the first sign of affection. If they never been hugged by their mothers, then guess what? Like I said, I babysitted a girl son who laid her son on my floor, and when he started crying, he had to be no more than 6 months old. She told me to let him self-soothe. I'm not letting no little kid self-soothe. He need a hug. He need to be loved. He need to be told that he's going to be okay. Or if something is bad, how to overlook the bad and still focus on the good. That's something that women, we are responsible for when it comes down to raising these men. So again, y'all, this is the end of this segment. I want y'all to like, subscribe, and share to my YouTube channel. Also, leave comments. Like I said, even if I did not watch this live while I'm doing it, y'all will be on it later, and I want y'all to leave y'all suggestions. Do mothers affect her son's manhood? Could a mother affect her son's manhood? And I'm going to say my point of view, yes. Have a good one, everybody.